Alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Welcome to our first class for today, which is our Aqidah class, which is the most important class of all. I had a question that I wanted to speak about before I did the lecture today. You know, history is so important, guys. As Muslims, we have to really get educated and learn a little bit about history. I'm not talking about American history. American history ain't even history. I don't know how we would define American history. But I'm talking about history of other cultures, other worlds, and other lives. I mean, it's kind of shocking to me to see how the kids are growing up nowadays. What are they learning? What are they teaching in schools? You know, I remember when I was in school, we had to learn about the different periods of time, the different eras of history. They taught that in regular and elementary, junior high, and high school. We had to learn about, the medieval period. We had to learn about the Shakespearean period. We had to learn about, the different periods, the Dark Ages. They don't teach that anymore. What is going on in school? I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's really sad when you think about it, and it makes you realize just how old you are. I realize just how old I am. SubhanAllah, kids are not learning half of what we learned when we were in school with history and stuff. And, it's just ridiculous. But I know kids like to watch TV. Seems like everything is TV. I encourage you guys to check out the History Channel. Now, when I do watch TV, everybody my coworkers used to laugh at me on the job because I would only watch HGTV. I'm always watching because I don't have time for the drama. I want to see how to rebuild a house. What's the latest fashion in designing a house? Or if I wasn't watching the HGTV channel, I was watching the food channel, seeing how to cook, because I like to cook, even though I can't cook. I like to cook. I cook and it releases stress. Don't taste good, but hey, it's a cook. And then if I'm not watching the cooking channel, and I know my coworkers, if they listen, are laughing, they know Layla's third choice was the History Channel. You learn a lot from that History Channel, man. Let your children watch the History Channel. SubhanAllah, they can learn about the Vikings. They can learn about the Romans, learn about the Persian Empire. They can learn about the Muslim Empire. They can learn about the Arabs, of pre-Islam. Yeah, the Arabs of pre-Islam. That's what they call that period. The pre-Islamic period. The pre-Islamic period of the Arabic civilizations. Every tribe had a standard. Every tribe had a flag. What's the standard? The standard is the flag to represent each tribe. Just like even in Europe, they had a flag too. Have you guys ever watched that, those medieval King Arthur movies? They had their flag, which symbolized Camelot, which the flag which symbolizes England. Everybody had their flag, their standard. And whenever they went out into battle, even with the Arabs, during the pre-Islamic period, when the Arab tribes would go out to battle, each army would have their flag, their standard. That standard represented that tribe. That's nationalism. That's nationalism. That's tribalism, nationalism. Just like in England, they had their different flags. This is the flag that represent this tribe of France, this tribe of England, this tribe of Ireland. That's nationalism. That's what the flags represent. This is history. Okay. So in the advent of Islam, when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated to Medina, The different tribes, including the Jews, they had their flags too, their standards too. So when Allah sent down the commands telling the Muslims that they can finally fight against the Quraysh and fight against their enemies, that's the first thing that the Muslims wanted to know. Well, what will be our standard? What will be the standard that we bear? And the Prophet, that should we bear the standard of the Ansar? The Ansar had their standard, their flag, because the Ansars were the ones that adopted the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the immigrants in. And the Prophet Muhammad let them know, no, wait a minute. We are now brothers unto each other. I connected you, an immigrant, to a person that's Ansar. We're all united as one. Our race, our color, our tribe is of no value. We're all the same. We're one. So what will our standard be? The Prophet chose, he had two standards, a black one and a white one, but he chose the white standard first. And he said, and we will put on it, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, because this is what unites us. And that became the standard of the Muslims. This is Hadith. This is Bukhari. This is Muwatta. You can find some of it in Muslim, Tirmidhi, and it's history. This is even written in the Wikipedia. Even if you guys go to Wikipedia, you'll see that every tribe back in these were the dark ages. Even the Vikings had their standards. This is how they fought back in those. Everybody had a flag. The Prophet, when he united us as one, our standard is La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, Wal Bara. That's the standard of Islam. And it's remained the standard of Islam. It was the standard throughout the caliphate of Abu Bakr and Umar and them too. That's our flag. We're united based on our belief. La ilaha illallah unites us. It's not what tribe we come from. Because as the Prophet said, we come from, he said, my allegiance. This hadith is authentic. It's in Sahih Muslim. He said, just because a person is from my tribe doesn't mean that I'm related to them. He said, my relatives, my people is anyone who believes La ilaha illallah. This is when he came up with that. That's Bukhari and Muslim hadith. We have to learn history, guys. We have to learn the Sunnah. We've deviated. We don't understand the history of our own religion. The hadiths are the history of Islam. You know, because they tried to say, well, your people. No, my people is anyone who believes La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, no matter where they come from. Just because you are from the Quraysh, no, we're not using no Quraysh. We're not using that. La ilaha illallah will be the standard that we use. Okay? And that's even in Wikipedia. So before Islam, the Arabs had different standards, different flags, and the armies would all go out to meet with their flag. The Prophet called away from nationalism. Islam is against tribalism, nationalism, racism. Our diversity is our strength. Our strength as Muslims has never been the numbers. The Prophet Muhammad, this is another authentic hadith. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, we'll never have the strength in regards to numbers. He said, our strength will be our iman, our faith. And our greatest weapon is our supplication. So make sure that we're abiding by Allah's laws. That's why when even Umar would send his army out to battle, he would tell each army, he would tell them, you know, abide by the laws of Allah. Don't transgress his limits. Because our greatest weapon is not the numbers. It's our belief. Y'all understand? This is history. And it really saddens me as a daya. It makes me wonder, what are they teaching the kids in school today? You don't learn history. Subhanallah. It's really sad. All right. So anyway, that's that. That's enough of that. It's just, what are you guys learning in school? Do they talk about history in school anymore? Where the kids at? Hello? Norto. Do the kids learn anything about history in elementary and high school? About the Roman period, the Greek period, the Byzantine, they learn? Do they teach that stuff anymore?
Still teach history.
So why is it that people don't know?
Well, it's only selective history.
Oh, it's selective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like we have religion classes, and then we also have histories. We talked about like Greek mythology and stuff like that. But Islamic history, once we come to Islamic history, we don't talk much about it. We just talk about like Mansa Musa and like, you know, the big ones. They don't really.
They don't talk about the Arab civilization.
No, we just talk about like the trades that went through. You know, other than that, we don't. Even if we do spend like even in religion class, when we spend time on, you know, Christianity, it's more time talked about Christianity than in Islam. So yeah,
that's weird, because I was in the 5th grade when they taught us about, we learned Middle Eastern history. We learned about the Arabs, we learned about the Greeks, we learned about all of that, you know. Subhanallah.
Yeah, that was the 5th grade. About I can tell you about the Romans and the Greeks, but other than that, I cannot tell you.
So they done took the Arabic history out of schools. That's sad. Subhanallah. Life. Lord have mercy. I heard they got rid of writing in cursive too. I heard y'all, they don't teach. Did you hear that, Fresno? They don't teach how to write in cursive anymore. They took that out the school systems, curriculums. No more learning how to write in cursive.
There's I don't know if it's California. One of the states is bringing it back. They were just talking about the other day where they were going to sign it back into the school system for that state. Can't remember what state it was, but they're going to bring the cursive back because the kids don't know how to do it anymore.
That is sad, girl. We are living in the days of fitting. Lord have mercy. Everybody better pray to be on the right path. Whew. Whew. It's kind of sad. Well, check out the History Channel, guys. The History Channel got some pretty good shows, you know, about the ancient civilizations. Y'all check out, they got a lot of programs that you can watch on History Channel about the Arab civilization. The Arab civilization is interesting because the Arabic part of the world was never of interest to anyone because it's so desolate, desert. You know, nobody cared about that part of the world until the Prophet Muhammad rose up with Islam. The Prophet Muhammad, do you guys know that he was the one that stopped the conquering of the world? The Romans would have conquered the entire earth had it not been for the Prophet Muhammad. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The Muslims were the ones that stopped the Romans from accommodating the entire world. You know, they got a lot of shows on a History Channel about that, the Arab civilization. And it's pretty good. It's pretty accurate too. And you get to, they talk about the tribes and their banners and their standards and how they speak well of the Prophet, how the Prophet did bring unity. How the Prophet brought unity amongst the Arabs, because the Arabs were never united. They were never united. And that's why the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, our destruction will be our disunity. Right when the Mahdi comes, what will be happening when he comes? When he's coming, that will be the war against the Arabs. They will be fighting with each other for power. Right there in Mecca. And that's when the Mahdi will come and they won't even accept him. They will not accept him as the Arabs won't even accept him as the Mahdi. They're too busy fighting as who gonna be the ruler over all the Arab nations. Okay. And he said, our division, it's that division that's going to destroy us. You know, the Arabs were always divided. They were nationalistic. They were tribalistic. And he said they will revert back to being that way. But that's what he did. He made he unite, and even the non-Muslim historians, they credit the Prophet Muhammad with that. They say he did bring unity to this tribalistic, barbaric, they call them barbaric, this tribalistic, barbaric race of people. He brought unity. He united them all under one flag, the flag of Islam, which is La ilaha illallah. That's history.
That's why I never watched it. The history channels here, because I just thought it really depended on who was narrating the story, whether it was accurate or not.
That's true too. But if you notice, when you watch the History Channel, anything about Islam, they got Muslim scholars. Most of them from out of where?
Egypt.
Egypt, yeah. So these are Muslim scholars that's given the history. If you watch the History Channel, when they talk about Arabs, they talk about Islam, you watch the people that's speaking are the scholars from out of El Azhar, Egypt. That's why I watch them. Y'all know my teachers were El Azhar, Egypt. Not Medina. Mine were El Azhar. Either Medina or you El Azhar. I'm El Azhar. Y'all know that. Okay. So they got some pretty good shows. Pretty good shows about Islam and the Arab race and stuff. Y'all need to check out the History Channel, you know, and watch them. The good men and women. They even have the women scholars too, speaking. And the women scholars are dressed like me in hijab and jilbab, you know, about the history. Yeah, y'all check out that History Channel. It's good stuff on there. I used to have my clients watch it with me. Yeah. All right, let's get started with the class. I was waiting on everybody to get in too. Let me look on. I had a couple of sisters ask me to wait for them. Because they had to do their prayers and stuff. Let me see. Are you here? Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. Brother Musa's here. Oh, assalamu alaikum, Brother Musa. How are you? There's Brother Musa. Haven't seen you in a couple of days. Good to see you back. Okay, y'all ready? Okay, we can go ahead and get started because there's going to be a quiz after today's lecture. So pay attention. I'm letting y'all know you will have a quiz after my little lecture. So everybody's back? Okay, inshallah. I'm ready. And we can get started. Yeah, okay. Let me make sure I got everything set up. Yeah, it won't be too long. Yeah, we're going to go over. Yeah, this is chapter 13. I'm going to tell y'all something. Yeah, the Ottoman Empire, they show that stuff too. But they'll talk about, I don't look at that stuff. The stuff that they do, anything about the Ottoman Empire and all that, I don't really care about that. But they got a lot of good shows on about the pre-Islam and the period of the Prophet Muhammad. Those are shows y'all need to watch. Forget about them Ottomans and stuff. Because after the Caliphate of Ali, everything goes downhill. We don't care. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, follow the way of my companions and the first four caliphs. Anybody after that, we don't really care about. I mean, not care about, but we don't care about the caliphs after that. Okay, but it's the first four. And the History Channel has a lot of stories, shows about the pre-Islam and after Islam. They call it the pre-Islamic period amongst the Arabs and the after Islam. And they go through what happened during the caliphate of Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali. Okay, and these are taught by scholars of Egypt, Muslims from Egypt, from out of El Azhar. Check it out. Y'all, because there's a lot of good stuff on the History Channel. Okay. Let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen. Right, this is it. Inshallah, you guys can see my screen. Okay. And again, for those of you who have not yet purchased the book, please go to Amazon.com. This book is written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid, and it's a great book. This is his trilogy on belief. Every Muslim should have this trilogy because he breaks down in this book the meaning of the Shahada, which we don't understand the meaning of it anymore. Okay, so we're on chapter 13, the beginning of it. So y'all can get the books out and follow along. There will be a quiz after this. We're going to go and speak in this chapter. Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid speaks more in detail about how we Muslims have violated the precepts of Wal Bara, or distancing. Instead of us distancing ourselves from that which opposes Islam, instead of us distancing ourselves from those people who impose, who contradict Islam, instead we've distanced ourselves against each other. We don't have that unity that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam tried to establish. That's why I talked about that in the beginning. We're all supposed to be one nation under one flag, the flag of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, not the flag of Palestine, not the flag of Egypt, not the flag of Saudi Arabia, not the flag of America, the flag of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. As the Prophet said, our diversity is our strength. Our strength lies in two things. Number one, our belief system. And number two, the diversity that we have. Okay? We're from all nations, all walks of life, all areas of the earth. If we would all act the part, dress the part, be the part, we would show the rest of the world that we don't need the numbers. Our strength is in our oneness. This is how the companions were. That's how Islam spread from out of the desolate place of Arabia to the rest of the world. Okay? Their diversity was their strength. Their faith was their balance and strength. We're not that way anymore. We're not that way anymore. I was looking at the news today. More people, you know, all this protest, and I just shake my head. I mean, it's good to see the rabbis and all the non-Muslims protesting, but the Muslims, you are so embarrassing. My God, these women and men are just, the men are overly excited, overly anxious, borderline terrorist looking and behaving. The men are borderline terroristic in their appearance, in their behavior, in the horrible things coming out of their mouth, that anger. These young men can't control it. And the women, I can't tell what you are. You don't look like no Muslim to me. You don't look like no Muslim. I don't know where you come from. You ain't representing Layla. And you definitely ain't representing them Palestinian women. Because like I told you, them Palestinian women don't wear no blue jeans. And they wear hijab. And they wear abayas like me. They don't walk around looking like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. They ain't got them fake eyelashes on. You will see them with some coal on like I got on. And that's about it. You know, so I don't know who these women represent with all this chanting and pumping their arms and brushing up against the men and holding hands, making plans. Mrs. Jones. I mean, it's just ridiculous, Miss Jones. Go home. Like I told you guys in my Q&A yesterday, the Prophet Muhammad and the companions didn't protest. They let the non-Muslims do that. Did y'all know that? The like I told you, the Romans and Greeks always protested. They the ones that invented it. What is democracy? You learn it in history. Did y'all learn that, Norto? Democracy began with the Romans and the Greeks. They're the ones that created that stuff. The protests and all that, and elections and all of that. They always protest. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was in Mecca and the Quraysh could not stop him from spreading the message of the truth, what did they do? They boycotted them. His whole tribe. They were forced to go live in the mountains. What happened after that, guys? Here's my dalil. How did that boycott end? Can anybody remember? How did the boycott end against the tribe of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? What happened to end it? To see how we got to learn these hadiths. The hadiths are the history. The hadiths hold your answer. The non-Muslims protested. Bam! What happened? Some of the Muslim Arabs, non-Muslim Arabs, they thought it was cruel. They began to speak out. They began to protest. Khadija, radiallahu anha, her brothers, her Kafir family, they went to the Kaaba. What did they do? The hadith. Where's the source? Where's the source? Where's the source? Bukhari, Muslim, Muwatta, Tirmidhi. They went to the Kaaba and stood out and protested against it. See, the Prophet let the Kafirs do that. The Kafirs are good at protesting. That's what, because they're listened to, because they belong to the same people. They went to the Kaaba and spoke about how horrific a thing it was. What the Quraysh were doing to this tribe of people. How they didn't have food. Children were dying. You could hear the kids crying. They stood there at the Kaaba getting the attention of the people. That's a protest. The people started listening to them. The people joined with them. The non-Muslims joined with them and went to the Quraysh together. That's a protest. See, protesting it wasn't invented in 2023. Watch the History Channel. Okay? They went to the Quraysh and said, it's cruel what y'all doing to them. The Prophet was smart. How can you defeat the enemy? From within. When the enemy sees that their own people are not in agreement with the wrongs they're doing, it's going to make them think. Who can give me another example of a protest of how, the story of Salama. Y'all remember the story of Salama? When they separated her from her husband and her son, what did she do? For a whole year, she would go to a mountain and cry and cry and cry. Who objected? Did the Muslims protest? No. There were the non-Muslims. They watched her. They went to the Kaaba again. The Kaaba was the gathering place. The Kaaba is where everything happened in pre-Islam. They went to the Kaaba and stood up and spoke out. That's a protest. Protest when you stand up and speak out against something. They said, why don't they let that woman be with her child? Give that woman back her son. Put that woman back with her husband. Then other non-Muslims jumped in it. They agreed too. This is a woman of your tribe. You are a powerful tribe. So the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the companions, they didn't protest. They were intelligent. They know that them protesting would have done no good. Let the people who are your enemies, let their people bring out your wrongs. Okay? And what happened? They end up putting the Muslimah back with her son. See why it's important to know history, guys? Those are my two dalils. That's Bukhari. That's Muslim. Muwatta. Tirmidhi. It's history. Wikipedia. So the prophet and the companions never protested. Okay? Instead, they showed solidarity. The prophet was busy trying to unite us as one. He was trying to let the people know, the Ansar, the Quraysh, your brothers. This tribe, your brothers. This people were Jews. They're converting to Islam. You know, don't hold grudges. We're brothers and sisters in faith. The prophet was preaching solidarity, solidarity, solidarity. The non-Muslims were protesting unfairness, unfairness, unfairness. Let the non-Muslims do the protesting. And instead, we work on the solidarity part like the prophet did. Y'all understand that? So, we haven't been doing that. Our nation has deteriorated, just like the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said it would. Instead, we've taken on the actions, behavior of the kafir with our protest, with our hunger strikes. Like I said, what was the question yesterday? Hunger strikes. We even dress like the kafirs. We behave like them. We speak like them. We act like them. We dress like them. So over the centuries, we've done just what the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said we would do. We showed Wal Bara amongst ourselves. We've distanced ourselves from our religion. We've distanced ourselves from Allah's laws. We've distanced ourselves from the Prophet. And we've become wala. We've shown closeness and allegiance to the kafir to the point where we act like them, do things like them, behave like them. This is why we are where we are. So today in this chapter, we're going to talk about how we've gotten here, more violations we've done against each other when these violations should have been against other than each other. And number one, we've neglected Islamic knowledge. Like I said, I'm shocked that Muslims don't know their own history. We don't know the history of Islam. It's shocking. You know, we don't know nothing about anything. We don't know nothing about the prayer. We don't know how to pray. We don't know the lawful and the unlawful. I received another question today about interest. Guys, interest entails borrowing money and paying it back. A gift card is not interest. A service fee is not interest. A tip. We don't know the basics. We have failed to learn our religion. Instead, we wanted to be like the non-believers. We put emphasis on going to school to get a PhD in science. We wanted to get a PhD in psychology. Our emphasis has shifted from knowledge of Islam to knowledge of the dunya, so we can be like the kafirs. And this is why we are where we are, where we don't even know what's lawful and what's unlawful. We don't know how to pray, how to dress properly. We don't know if we can wear jewelry, makeup. We don't know nothing about our way of life. This is because we distanced ourselves from our religion by not seeking Islamic knowledge. And whenever we fail to seek knowledge and understanding of our way of life, it leads to this. When we neglect to study the Quran Now, most of my Bantu students here have memorized. They can sing the Quran by heart. But if you were to ask them to tell you what they're saying, they don't know what it means. They just were trained as a child to memorize, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin, and that's how they do it too. What are you saying? I don't know. We failed to study the meaning. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in another authentic hadith, the source, Muslim. He said, you will never understand the Quran until you learn the hadith, my sunnah. Yeah, you can recite the Quran beautifully, but you can't tell me what Allah is talking about, what he means. Until you learn those hadiths, because what are the hadiths? The hadiths are the history of Islam. The hadiths are the explanation. Every verse Allah sent down, he sent down for a reason, because something happened. Cause and effect. There's a cause and effect to everything. You don't know what the cause is, and you don't know what the effect is because you failed. You have neglected learning the hadith. Instead, we have shifted to Islam Q&A fatwa online websites, which the Prophet told us is a sign of the last hour. Okay? We need to do away with this fatwa online and get back to the basics. Try to find, there are not that many of them living. Find a scholar of the hadith and learn from them. I got one. My teacher is a scholar of the hadith. Alhamdulillah, may Allah keep him living. May Allah preserve him. Okay, I mean, you better find a person that does know the hadith to learn from, because that's how the sunnah disappears, with the death of the people that do know it. They take that knowledge to the grave with them, and we're left with fatwa. Okay, like we are. So, seeking, and by the way, guys, seeking knowledge of Islam is an obligation. Just like praying is an obligation, just like fasting Ramadan is an obligation, Allah commands us in the Quran to seek the knowledge of this religion. And we seek it. If you can't ever think that you know it all. I know some people who've been Muslim for 50 years. They'll say, oh, I learned that stuff when I was young. I don't have to learn anything else. Sister, you never know it all. I never know it all. Even I am still learning each day. Each day, I'm still learning more and more and more about my deen from my teachers, subhanallah. No one knows it all. We have to always seek that knowledge. Okay? And when we seek the proper knowledge, this is how we strengthen our faith. This is how we strengthen our relationship with Allah. And by strengthening our relationship with Allah, we're able to handle the trials of life like those strong. Now, there's some weak Palestinians too. I'm not saying that all Palestinians over there are strong. They got some weak ones too. Okay, but for those strong believing Palestinians over there, that's how they're able to watch their child die in front of them, stroke their face, give them a kiss, say, Inna lillahi inna ilaihi rajiun, and then say, bury him and keep it moving. Because they have that relationship with Allah, and they got that relationship because they understand that everything happens because Allah willed it. They understand that that child that they lost didn't belong to them anyway. That child was alone to them. And they also understand that that child will be an intercessor for them on the day of judgment. So they can bury their children and keep it moving. See what understanding of the religion does. It gives you the strength to handle and accept Allah's qadr. Those people are there. The rest of us watching, most of us are not nowhere close. Most of us don't even understand the qadr of Allah. We question it all the time. Okay? So, seeking knowledge, when you fail to seek knowledge, the correct knowledge of this religion and understand it, that's when you distance yourself from this religion. You're distancing yourself from Allah, and you're distancing yourself, from others too, other Muslims too, because you become in the weak category. You're in the weak category that a strong believer wouldn't even want to be around. Subhanallah. Also, Wal Bara. We have shown that by disrupting the unity that the Prophet Muhammad tried to establish. Even now, when I look at these Muslims protesting, they're protesting with the flags of Palestine. What is this? What about the Muslims in Burma? What about the Muslims in Yemen right now? Did y'all know what happened a few days ago? Did y'all know that the people of Yemen tried to help the Palestinians by shooting rockets over to Israel? Did y'all know that America intercepted, the American ship intercepted Yemen's rockets? Do y'all know that most of Yemen has been blown to pieces as we speak? That our country, America, has been bombing Yemen for the past 3-4 days? America ain't, the American news ain't showing you that. So while you're carrying the flag of Palestine, where's the flag of Yemen, who tried to help? Whereas Saudi Arabia and them didn't, Yemen did. And America is bombing the heck out of them as we speak. This is why that flag stuff, carrying those flags, that's no. That's separatism. That's nationalism. That's alienation. That's disparate treatment. If you're going to carry any flag, it should be the flag that the Prophet Muhammad carried, which is a white banner with La ilaha illallah. That's why I'm against that protest and crap. Yemen is getting bombarded by America as we speak. I have one sister here who said that she has not talked to her family in Yemen since Tuesday. Since America sent those airstrikes. Since America intercepted the rockets that Yemen sent to Israel. And she's worried to death about her family. Okay? So, what is you doing with this? This unity is gone. Is this just a Palestinian thing? I keep telling y'all, this is not a Palestinian thing. This is an Islamic thing. And this is why other Muslim countries will use what's happening in Yemen as an excuse to not get involved. Y'all see why this is nationalism? Y'all see why the Prophet Muhammad did away with them flags? He said there's only one standard for the Muslim. The only standard for the Muslim is La ilaha illallah. What's the source? Bukhari, Muslim, Muwatta. One standard. Okay? So now, because of Yemen, a small country getting bombarded by the superpower America, maybe that's why Oman ain't gonna help. Maybe that's why Saudi Arabia used that as an excuse to not get involved. Because we won't even be on TV. At least Palestine's on TV. Y'all see that nationalism with them flags? And I look at the daya. You Muslim dayas, y'all with the flags, what is going on? What, y'all lost the deed? Put the flag of La ilaha illallah around your neck. This is against Islam. This is against Muslims all over the world, not just Palestinians. This is every Muslim on this planet, in Africa, in Yemen, in Canada, in America. Look what the Canadian Muslims are dealing with. Have y'all read the American news? Look what's happened to the Muslims in Canada as we speak. Nobody knows. Hello, Canadian Muslims. Y'all only know what's going on with them. You know, so I even say to the dawah, y'all got to take them flags off. If you want to wear a flag, if you got to have a symbol, wear the symbol of Islam, which is a white standard with La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, because this is how you get the Zionists. The Zionists has got a war against Islam, not Palestine. Okay? And may Allah help those Muslims in Yemen. This is for my student here who's got family that she hasn't been able to talk to since Tuesday. May Allah keep them strong and resolute. Ameen. All right. So we've distanced ourselves with each other. We don't have unity. Engaging in activities and behaviors that disrupt unity within the Muslim community, such as spreading disagreements and discord, inciting division, like y'all doing with those flags. All that's going to watch the Muslim world use that as an excuse. They know what's going on in Yemen. The government of Arabia, them know that Yemen is being bombarded like crazy right now. They look at that. They're devastated. They're being blown up. They're without food and water, just like the Palestinians are. Okay, but it ain't being talked about because they're being bombarded directly by, not by Israel, by America. American soldiers are bombarding them. Okay, this is how it incites division, because all we see are these protests that Muslims doing for one part of the Muslim world. So the other governments will say, well, we're not going to get involved. Can't y'all hear what the African countries will say? The representative of the United Nations from Somalia, he knows what's going on in Yemen right now. Can't y'all hear him say, well, Somalia is not going to interfere because they're doing nothing to help the Muslims in Yemen. They're being killed just like the Palestinians, so we're not going to help. We'll just do whatever the United Nations wants us to do. Y'all see that? And the Zionists is stick to the way of the prophet. No protests. No flags. Let the non-Muslims protest. Let the non-Muslims wear flags. If you want to put a flag on, if it ain't La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, which is what the flag the prophet wore, you better sit down. Sit down. Because you're not helping the problem. You're part of it. You're part of it with your division, your disunity. So embracing unity, this is how we grow as a nation. This is how we grow as a community, by working together, by respecting all diverse opinions, by finding common ground. This is how we strengthen our way of life. This is how we strengthen our relationships with others. And this is how we win the respect of the rest of the world. The rest of the world's laughing at us. Y'all don't know y'all didn't know what's going on in Yemen? Seriously. Oh yeah, American News, CNN and Fox, they keep that stuff hidden. Oh, Yemen is being bombarded like crazy. Them people been suffering for a long time anyway. The Yemenis been suffering for a long time as Muslims because of the terrorists. They suffering now because America is blowing them up. They ain't got no food or water either. They don't have no electricity. It's messed up. Yeah. All right. Also, when we neglect the rights of others, this is what leads to division and distancing amongst ourselves as Muslims. And this is what leads to the wrath of Allah. How do we neglect the rights of others? Well, by disregarding the rights of the fellow believers, such as not paying back the debts that you owe, taking each other's property, failing to honor agreements. Wow. Big problem here in the West. This is a big problem amongst Muslims in the West. What's been going on, guys, since 2016 here in the West with us as Muslims? Not what's been the number one thing people have been complaining about? Imams abusing their position of authority, the rape. You bring your daughter or your son to the mosque for counseling, hoping that the imam can help, and the imam is sitting there having sex with your daughter. He done violated that. Hello, your children are your property. Okay? You're a Muslim black woman, African American, or from Africa. You go to the mosque begging, for help to pay your rent, your bills. But because you're black, you don't speak Arabic, they turn you away. But that Arabic woman got help. That Caucasian woman got help. That Kafir on the street got help. Y'all see what's been going on? This is a big problem here with the Muslims in America. This been going on for years. Oh yeah, I hear about it as a daya a lot because the women come in here complaining about it. Okay? We don't regard the rights of our fellow believers. How many of you brothers have complained about how you've helped another Muslim? That Muslim will contract you to help him fix his roof. So you enter into a contract agreement that you will help this Muslim brother fix his roof, and he pay you $3,000. After the job is done, you ask for your money and he tell you fi sabilillah. How many of you brothers got that story? I done heard a bunch of that. Fi sabilillah. You did it for the sake of Allah. No, I got a family, Aki. I got a wife and kids to take care of. This is the contract. And so when you threaten to take him to court, astaghfirullah, you a kafir. I'm your brother in faith. You can't take me to the white man. You can't take me to the kafir court. This has been a big problem here in America. So whenever we fail to give each other the rights owed, as the prophet said, pay the person. You contract a person to do something for you. You pay him. Because they were doing that crap back then too. Fi sabilillah. You don't honor your agreements. You take other people's property. You're violating the trust and amana. This is when Allah sends his punishment. This is when Allah sends his wrath. Upholding the rights of others. This is a serious sin in Islam. Islam is all about justice. Allah hates injustice. We got to come back to this. One thing about those Palestinians that live over there in that part of the world, and also the Yemenis too, and also the people in Burma too, and also the people in China too. Those believing Muslims, they were there for their brothers and sisters. They're very, very friendly and neighborly kind. Like Dr. Jamali was saying, his brother has a well in his house. His brother will take the water from his well and not just usurp it for his family. He would go and give it to the other people in the neighborhood too. That's how they do. They share everything. If one person got a piece of bread, they'll run and give it to everybody else. We don't do that here. Okay, because we haven't experienced hardship like that. Okay, those people are way ahead of us. They put aside years ago racism and all that garbage with each other. They take care of each other in the neighborhood. They help one another in the neighborhood. They honor their agreements. If I agreed to pay you for doing this, I'm going to pay you. They keep their agreements. They know the seriousness of that in those parts of the world. Okay? We Muslims don't. Okay? Also, another thing that leads to Wal Bara is when we show Wal Bara in regards to our personal development. Again, we neglect to grow. Remember, Allah says he'll never change the condition of a person until that person takes the steps to change the condition of him or herself. We don't grow as Muslims. Okay, we don't try to. I tell you guys, every Ramadan, you should be able to look at yourself and see growth. I want to be a stronger, better Muslim this Ramadan than I was last Ramadan. How many of us compare ourselves? Some of you sisters are still walking around with those tight pants on, tight fitting shirts on, showing your derriere, them big, long, fake eyelashes that I keep telling y'all is haram. You know, looking like little strumpet Nikki wannabes. No growth, no growth. When we neglect to show personal growth, then this is when Allah sends his wrath. Okay? And also, we don't give in charity. There's a lot of Muslims here that Allah has blessed in America with nice incomes, nice jobs. You got the big $300,000 home, alhamdulillah. You driving that nice Mercedes, that nice BMW. But then when it's time for you to pay your zakat, you trying to look for a way to wheedle out of it. Whenever we neglect to pay that zakat, you know, that's when Allah will send his wrath upon you too. You know, and then some people, I'd rather give it to a kafir. I've heard Muslims say that. I'd rather give my zakat to a kafir than to a Muslim. So I know some Muslims who have taken their zakat, given it to the Animal Protection League. This no lie. They come in my Zoom room with this. I know some Muslims who's given $2,000, which was their zakat, to the Animal Protection League, instead of giving it to the mosque. You know, because I don't like them brothers up there. I don't like them brothers up there. Them brothers are fanatical. They salafi. They this, they that, they duh. You threw your zakat away. Zakat to an animal instead of to a human. So again, when we embrace the spirit of charity, the spirit of giving, this will make us feel good about ourselves because we're alleviating the suffering of others who Allah didn't bless as well as he did us. And as Muslims, we're supposed to show compassion and empathy for our fellow Muslims. But you rather give it to an Animal Protection League rather than give it to your Muslim brothers and sisters. And also, many of us have distanced ourselves from this religion because of our hypocrisy. What's hypocrisy? You claim to be a Muslim. You claim to have moral standards. You claim to believe in Allah, but your actions don't show it. Remember, whatever the Prophet said, whatever is in the heart, it's going to show through your behavior. Look at those women and men protesting. They call themselves Muslims. You say you believe in Allah. You say you believe in Islam, but you ain't even dressing the part. You say you believe in Allah, you believe in Islam, but you don't even have the beard. You say you believe in Allah, you say you believe in our prophet, but you're making him look bad with all the filth that's coming out your mouth, the things that you're saying, okay, out your mouth with your protests. You know, again, hypocrisy. We have to do a lot of self-evaluation. Do I truly believe in Allah? Am I truly about Islam, or is my allegiance to Palestine? When I say that it's all about Palestine, am I talking about the people there, or am I talking about a piece of the earth? A lot of people do have allegiance to the earth and not to Allah, not to the prophet, not to the believers. Okay? So hypocrisy becomes a great reason as to why we're in the situation that we're in today, because we have double standards. We say we're Muslim, but we don't look the part. We don't dress the part. We don't act the part. We don't behave the part. We don't even know. We don't even know the lawful and the unlawful. Somebody take care of that. Okay. All right. So let's see how well you guys understand or understood what I just taught. I got a quiz for you. Let's see how well you guys can answer these several questions, just several questions. Okay. Got a quiz. Okay. Today's interest amongst the Muslims has been placed upon obtaining educational degrees instead of understanding the obligations imposed by Allah. This has led to Wal Bara, or distancing of which of the following? Hypocrisy, personal development, or Islamic knowledge? Who has the answer? Because okay, go ahead.
Islamic knowledge, because you're failing to seek knowledge of the religion.
You guys agree with her? Does everybody agree?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, mashallah, that's correct. You know, whenever our interest shifts from learning about Islam to something else, whenever we prioritize learning anything over Islam, we are distancing ourselves from our Islamic knowledge. And that's why most Muslim women don't know. You sisters don't know. Makeup is not haram. Anybody that tells you makeup is haram, tell them to bring you the clear evidence. And they can't. They cannot bring you no clear evidence. But I can bring you about 20 hadiths where the Prophet's wives wore makeup. Oh yeah, and they Bukhari and Muslim. Okay? We don't know our religion. We're becoming psychologists and all of that, but we don't even know what's lawful and unlawful for us to wear. I can't wear red. How many women say it's haram? She's got on a red dress. Who said I can't wear red? Oh, it's haram. It's haram. It's haram. We don't know what haram is, because we put our emphasis and our focus on learning about psychology and science and all that nonsense, and we lost the interest in our way of life. Okay? And we've distanced ourselves from it. Good job. What about this? Many Muslims today have focused on their material needs instead of their religious needs. And in turn, this has led to Wal Bara, in which of the following? Hypocrisy, personal development, or neglecting the rights of others. Because the focus has been placed on material needs or desires instead of religious needs, we've distanced ourselves from which of the, as a result of which of the following? Hypocrisy, personal development, or the rights of others. Come on, guys, it's not hard. Look at the words. Material needs, religious needs.
It's personal development because of the material need.
Exactly. That's the thing. We haven't focused on our personal development because we've put more emphasis on money, more emphasis on having that big house, more emphasis on driving a new car, more emphasis on trying to be like Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. We want to be like them, like Jay-Z. We want to have that roll, that money, that dough. We, you know, our emphasis has went on that. And so look at us. We don't have the Muslim identity no more. We don't look the part. We don't act the part. We don't behave the part. We haven't grown. We've made no personal growth in regards to our religious belief and in regards to our relationship with Allah. We're running around asking people to make dua for us. Please make dua for me. Make dua for me. Make dua for me. Make dua for me. Make dua for yourself. If you have grown personally, you don't need nobody to pray for you. You pray your own dua. Those 75,000, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there will be 75,000 who will enter paradise without having even been judged. They never ask anybody to make dua for them. They made dua for themselves. Just like those strong Palestinians, those strong people in Yemen, those strong Muslims in Burma and China and the rest of the part of the world. You don't see them on TV saying, make dua for me, make dua for me, make dua for me. They're praying for themselves. Okay? What about this? Many Muslims today claim to have love for Islam, but they don't dress the part or behave the part. And as a result, this has led to picking and choosing what parts of Islam to adapt. And in turn, this has led to Wal Bara of which of the following: hypocrisy, Islamic knowledge, or personal development. Because okay, the brother here is giving his answer too. He's texting me. Because Muslims do not have picked and chosen which parts of the religion to adapt, this has led to which of the following: hypocrisy, Islamic knowledge, or personal development. And by the way, the brother that texts me, your answer is right. Good job, brother. What about the people in Zoom? What is
I would
that?
say hypocrisy because they claim to love for Islam, but at the same time they're picking and choosing.
Exactly. This is hypocrisy, guys. You can't pick and choose. Those women that's protesting with those flags and you don't have a hijab on, who's going to listen to you? Do you think the Zionists are going to listen to you? Because they know what you are. They're looking at you like, look at this idiot. She claimed to be protesting, but look at her. She ain't dressed like Muslim women supposed to dress. Oh, she's an idiot. Man, these are rebels. These are rebels. Get the guns. And if they transgress, they cross the line, just shoot them and kill them. Okay? Seriously. Hypocrisy. Okay? Let's see. I think that was the last question. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's it. So, mashallah, you guys did pretty good on this quiz today.